Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Daily Manchester United. Here it's Wildcard Wednesday, our first really of the brand new season, and it's not like us to reminisce, is it? No, not a chance. We'd never pick a topic that takes us back into the past and think of better times. Without further ado, here's today's Wildcard Wednesday. We're looking at the two Champions League finals, both of 1999 and of 2008, and coming up with a combined 11 out of the two. Now, there's a couple of rules we're putting in place. As you can see, I've got pen in hand. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see how seriously I'm taking this. We are restricted to only the starting 11 of both sides. So there's no Nanny and there's no Giggs. You can't have them because they are on the bench for the 08 final. I'm not doing this alone, of course. I have the wonderful Mr. Niall Hannigan joining me. Niall, welcome along.
Kieran, delighted to be on for the reminiscing episode tonight. So looking forward to this and ready to be absolutely slaughtered in the comments and on social media. So can't wait.
I wouldn't have it any other way. So without further ado, let's get straight in there at goalkeeper. Now, obviously, two choices you could have. You could have Peter Schmeichel or you could have Edwin van der Sar. Niall, who have you gone for?
I feel like this is a horrible place to start for being slaughtered. Going off that game, I'm going to have to go for the penalty save from Edwin van der Sar, and just that iconic celebration of just punching the air like an old Dutch man in a nightclub, which is him in Moscow that night, and it was absolutely gold dust. So I'm going to have to go with Edwin van der Sar, even though Schmeichel is probably the most successful goalkeeper in the Premier League, never mind at United. But I'm going to have to go with Edwin here.
Yeah, I went Schmeichel. I went the other side of the coin. I thought, both fantastic shot stoppers, both absolute heroes of Manchester United. Maybe less so for Schmeichel because he went the other side of Manchester, for a season. But hey ho. We can all put that behind us because
they were relevant as well. Such a strange one.
I know. Yeah. We'll let him off. He just wanted to see what it was like. But yeah, I think even you love to see a goalkeeper just get up there in the 90th minute and just make himself a nuisance in the opposition box. And Schmeichel could do that. It was amazing. I've gone Schmeichel. You've gone Van der Sar. We've already started a war underneath us, which I love. Let us know how wrong we got it. Right. We're both going to be boring as well, but that's because United were very famous for lining up as sort of like a 4-2-3-1. So we'll go with the four at the back then, Niall. Who have you gone for? Let's start at centre half.
Oh, this is actually going to be horrendous, I think. Okay. Do you want to call out the options? Because it just kind of shows how difficult this task is, really.
Yeah. So you've got Ferdinand and Vidic. You could technically have Wes Brown, even though he started as a fullback in the game. And in the 99 stage, you had Jaap Stam. You have Dennis Irwin. It's a tricky one. It is a very tricky one. But who are you narrowing it down to?
So centre halves, I've gone for Jaap Stam and Vidic. Absolute no nonsense defending from these two, and I think when you see the rest of my team, it's probably going to be necessary that these two definitely stay back and are holding down the fort. Never got to see Jaap Stam play in person, but from the clips and the videos and the matches that I've watched in the past, just an absolute stalwart, an absolute machine. I was probably let go by United way too soon as well, only playing for a couple of seasons. So he was definitely going to be in at centre half, and then Vidic is just iconic. Putting his head everywhere. Just one of the bravest players, bit mad, I suppose, as well. But I think the two of them wouldn't be dealing with too much nonsense. So I went with them as the two centre halves. And then at right back, I've gone for G-Nev himself. Hopefully he's tuning in. But had to go with Gary Neville. Just so consistent and one of the best right backs that the Premier League has seen as well, playing in for so many years. I had to go with him. And for left back, I was torn with my home allegiances. I was like, should I get Dennis Irwin? And especially because Keane's not playing in the 99 final, there has to be an Irish player in there. Once again, not going to lie, I didn't see too much of Dennis Irwin, but from what I've seen on videos and from what other people talk about him as a footballer, I think he would thrive in today's game, being an attacking fullback. Fullback that's taking penalties and free kicks and stuff is just unheard of in that unbelievable United team. But I do have a bit of a soft spot for Patrice Evra, so I'm gonna sneak Evra in left back to complete the back four.
I'm shocked and appalled because that's exactly the same back four I had written.
No way.
Yes way. I for Jaap Stam as well. I probably was thinking about Ferdinand in there as well. I mean, the Vidic-Ferdinand partnership is just iconic. It just is. It served us so long at the back there. Two of them, both stalwarts. I mean, Ferdinand being at the time a world record fee, wasn't it, from Leeds United?
Yeah, 30, wasn't it? No.
Yeah, about 30 odd million. So it was a big deal for him to transfer.
Back then, that fee back then is madness. Like, what would that be now? I'd say if you did a little inflation calculation, it's probably just 100.
It's just under half a Sesko. So we'll see how that pans out. Yeah,
his right leg. Yeah.
I guess which one's more important? I don't know, but yeah, I was toying with Ferdinand. You're right as well, Dennis Irwin. I was thinking maybe. I mean, this is so tough, but I would rather it this way than any other.
Yeah.
But I went Evra because we love this game and he loves this game. So
he really does,
and he loves a big game. He just him playing. I mean, 2011 Champions League, that rocket against Bayern Munich. He just absolutely hits it and just it's a wonderful shot. Ignore the fact we went on to lose that game, but give me something. Evra was fantastic.
There's no better sight than seeing him bombing up the left. It's just he's just the perfect shape of a left back as well. Exactly what you'd want. Super aggressive, good on the ball, loves attacking. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's brilliant. And then his personality off the pitch over the last few years has been fairly entertaining.
He loves this game. He just loves it. And who could blame him? When we come back, we'll have a look at the rest of the field, up in the midfield and up top. But first, we'll have a word from our sponsors.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body is unique.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Let's dive into the holding midfield then. And, well, I feel like it probably should be Carrick and Scholes. I'm just putting it out there. I'm straight in there. As you say, no nonsense. You've got Carrick, who I feel in his United career, we've spoke about before how Michael Carrick, once he had left United and once he'd retired, the heartbeat of that team was almost gone. And it's one of those things that you don't realise what you have until it's gone. And for Carrick, he was exactly that. And a perfect partner to Paul Scholes in that sort of heart of the midfield. Scholes could, pick our pass out every day on Sunday to move the team forward. I mean, he was wonderful to watch, and it is so mad how he started out his career as a footballer as a striker, and then it was seen that actually he's got a heck of a pass on him. Let's drop him deeper and see what happens, and it turned into one of the best midfielders United's ever had.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I definitely went with Paul Scholes. 08 Paul Scholes obviously was injured or suspended for the 99 final. Was it injured? I think it might have been injury. But yeah, had to go with him. And I've slightly shoehorned it, but not too much. It still works. And he did definitely play here later on in his career. I've put Beckham in beside him in two holding midfield roles, where Scholes in 08 is definitely more of a holder than probably what he was back in 99. And then Beckham as well, just with the range of passing. I think in that formation as well, I think he probably would have to play in those two midfield roles rather than the kind of 4-4-2 formation that they would have been playing before. So absolute ballers in midfield there. Just no short passes allowed, only 40-yard diagonals is the name of the game. And when we see who we have up front, it probably makes sense as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to move on to wingers because this is an important one because I've put Beckham on the right. Mm-hmm. I've not put him in midfield or centre mid, I should say. I put him out on the wing there. So, I mean, the man could do anything. Dead ball specialist as well. An absolute menace wherever he was on the pitch. Just a range of pass. He could finish as well. I mean, there wasn't a lot he couldn't do. David Beckham. He was wonderful to sort of watch on there, and just to sort of say that the amount of times he bailed out England, the free kick against Greece comes to mind. Just a player you want for the big occasion because he can always deliver.
And I feel like he's always undervalued as a player as well because of just the global icon he is. That he's so much more than his football career, but then it's kind of underestimated of how good he actually was. And his career was incredible. Obviously, going on to play for all the big clubs that he did as well, but just a player that was just pure technique and an incredible athlete as well in terms of his fitness. But just those corners in the Champions League final as well, in clutch moments, to put both of them right into the corridor of uncertainty, into the area, into the mixer, whatever you want to call it. It worked out anyway, and that's exactly what you want from your big players and big moments is to give you a bit of a chance for a few poachers to get a toe to it. So he had to make the team. I'm glad he's made both of our teams.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to ask you who's on your right hand side because you've put Beckham in the midfield. So I'm interested to see who's on your right hand side.
Ronaldo.
On the right, interesting. Okay,
because he wasn't really playing on the left or through the middle at United. A lot of his time was spent on the right hand side with kind of gigs on the left hand side, and even for a time Rooney was playing out on the left hand side to kind of shoehorn him into the team. So I've gone for his kind of just raw pace down the right hand side. Terrorizing defenders, as we know, and to be honest, with the players that we have in the front, in the three and behind the striker, very interchangeable. And I can imagine that they'll be switching over to terrorize the other fullback after half an hour, 40 minutes or so. So I've got him on the right hand side to start with back in his United days.
See, now I can guess who you've put on the left then, because I've put Cristiano Ronaldo on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like you put Cristiano Ronaldo in, I think you can see where I'm going with this. I want you to predict it. I actually said, you can't have Giggs. Well, actually, he did actually start in the
99. Sorry,
99. Yeah, he did start. So you could have Giggs, and I was wrong. See, that's the first thing you can pick out as being woefully wrong. There you go. See, it's all good. It's all in good jest.
For the social media guys, that's within the first minute.
That was solely for content. I promise.
Yeah, absolutely.
But okay. So I'm guessing you've put Giggs on the left.
Giggs isn't making the team. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone for my three and behind the striker. I've gone all 08. I'm keeping the trio. I'm bringing the band back together again. I've got Rooney sitting in behind the striker, and I've got Tevez on the left-hand side, and they can switch whatever way they want. They can find pockets of space wherever they want. Rooney out to the left like he was a lot of the time back in the day. Tevez in behind the striker, Ronaldo on the right. Rooney and Ronaldo can swap if they want, but I'm keeping the three maestros on the pitch, and their interplay those couple of seasons was just incredible, and just make you fall in love with football. I suppose just put the ballers on the pitch and just let them sort it themselves. So that's what I've gone with for the three and behind.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I went for Ronaldo on the left. I put Rooney in that sort of number 10 role, if you like.
Yeah.
Just behind the striker, because centre forward, right, complimenting the striker. He played that role for years, shoehorning in Javier Hernandez moment, as we do on the reminiscing episodes. But Rooney and Hernandez as a centre forward striker partnership was amazing. So I put Rooney the centre forward, and I put Tevez up top. I agree.
Ooh,
those three were absolutely unbevable.
I'm glad the three are in. I'm glad you put the three in.
Yeah, I had to. As soon as I put Ronaldo in, I was like, well, look, who's he going to link up with? Rooney and Tevez. Of course he is. Those three were just absolute menaces no matter where they went. It was, I forget the team, and you can absolutely crucify me for it, but it's that one where they go from the counter-attack, and it just ends up with one passing to another in front of goal. It's one of the easiest goals you'll score. And I'm trying to think who that possibly would have been against. Someone in the comments will be able to tell us who and tell me how much of a fool I am for forgetting.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's moves like that make you fall in love with football. It's moves like that make you think, that's it. That's all I needed to see. And to put those three on the same pitch, it has to be done. It just has to be done.
It does. And I put the three of them in behind Andy Cole. And I think that the amount of chances that they would be creating for this man, for this absolute killer of a striker, like criminally underrated as well. The amount of goals he got in the Premier League is just ridiculous. And he didn't even take penalties. It's absolutely mind blowing. Obviously, back in the day, it was kind of like a partnership. York and Cole, him playing in other teams as well. It was normally two up front. I think just because of the sheer amount of bodies that would be getting forward, I don't think it would be an issue. So I wanted to kind of get him in with the youthful three in behind him and see how 55-year-old Andy Cole would get on.
It's what the world would want to see. What the world would want to see. Well, Andy Cole's an interesting shout, but I don't think I would have picked Andy Cole unless I was also picking Dwight York.
Yeah, fair.
Because I feel like they go hand in hand. They complemented each other so well. And Dwight York, what a player. Mm-hmm. It's a crime he actually didn't make my 11. I should be sentenced for that. But, Dwight York was an absolute heartbeat of the team. It just made things happen. And Andy Cole could play those roles up top. He was a target forward. He could be a poacher. He could play off of Dwight York. They were almost telepathic at times where to be and how to play the ball. So I feel like Andy Cole is a good shout, but I think I would have to pick him with Dwight York. And since Dwight York isn't making my team, I felt Andy Cole was probably not the option. But it's on vibes. It's on vibes. And
yeah,
I wonder as well. Up against Bayern Munich of 1999, Khan in goal. You have Babel Kafour, Lothar Matthäus, deadly striker, deadly. At least going forward, it's a terrifying name to just drop in there, Lothar Matthäus. And in 08, you've got Czech in goal. I mean, Claude Makelele alongside Michael Essien is just with Carvalho at the back. Oh, honestly, Michael Ballack in there. It was a great game, 1-1, and John Terry missing the penalty by giving a slip, and as you say, Van der Sar saving the decisive penalty. I'd love to go back to those finals and especially in 99 to properly experience it, because it's slightly, I wouldn't say before my time, but I'm nowhere near old enough to remember it. So I would have loved to have gone back to experience those two late goals to snatch it from the jaws of defeat. What a moment it must have been.
No, incredible. My uncle actually won tickets to go to that game in Barcelona. Yeah, he must be one of the luckiest person just going into raffles and winning 2 tickets to go to Barcelona. But yeah, big United fan and ended up there and said it was probably one of the worst games of football up until 88 minutes, 90 minutes. I think even Bayern Munich goal was a poor enough deflected kind of free kick, like a scruffy enough goal. Yeah. And then even the United goals were scruffy, but I mean, the pure drama of the last couple of minutes in stoppage time. But, football games do have... they're funny like that, where they can go through seriously dull lulls of play. But yeah, he said it was just absolutely iconic. So I can agree with you, and I can only imagine what it was like as well.
Well, for Bayern Munich to score before the 6th minute was even played. But that, as you say, it was a Barca free kick that gets deflected and finds its way into the back of the net. And then just for Sheringham and Solskjaer to just come off the bench and completely change everything. And Solskjaer, with that goal alone, wrote him into folklore. If he, I was going to say, I was going to put Solskjaer down, but then I realised it would be breaking my own rule, and I'm not a fan of breaking rules. So I put Tevez instead. But I mean, it was so tough to leave out the baby-faced assassin because of rules, our own self-established rules to leave out the baby-faced assassin.
Life's tough, Kieran. This is what we have to do. Like, I suppose your York Cole debacle was kind of ruled out once we had that formation with the one striker, I suppose. But yeah, I'm just thinking of the front four that I have. They can all play in all four positions. I can just see it being absolute carnage for the defence. Even Cole playing in the number 10 role, Tevez going up top, Rooney going up top. You know, like Rooney played everywhere for United, basically. I mean, he says a lot on podcasts and interviews that he didn't enjoy playing as the lone striker, and then he kind of was forced to play it those couple of seasons before Van Persie came under Ferguson, and he was scoring like 30 goals a season. It was like, I don't really enjoy it. Like, I'd rather be more involved in the play, but he's, you know, finishing and winning the Premier League with that many goals. Like, the man could do everything. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and later on in his career as well, being dropped into the sort of heart of the midfield. I mean, listening to that, it was perfect role for him, wasn't it? To drop deeper in the midfield, to be part of the play. And even as he was starting to decline physically, I mean, you know, people have been saying, and I say people, but, you know, things get flown around that maybe he was starting to physically decline by his late 20s. And you think about it, he was playing since he was 16 when he debuted at Everton.
Yeah.
You know, Wayne Rooney, remember the name, but we all do now. And I feel like if Rooney had made a debut 10 years later, you know, what kind of career could he have had? You know, with all of modern sports science, you know, really taking a hold, we're seeing more players make it into their late 30s. You know, you've got Lewandowski up at Barcelona, just still banging in the goals. You've got Harry Kane now at Bayern Munich. You know, he's still an absolute goal-scoring threat. And I do wonder, you know, how many more players can go into their later 30s and still be, you know, that physical presence that you need them to be, such as Harry Kane. And I wonder, you know, 10 years later, could we have seen maybe a couple more years of Wayne Rooney, or is it the fact that it happened when it did? You know, the mid-2000s, he just burst onto the scene and made history.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think there is definitely a world that could happen, but then I think as well it probably comes down to the players' motivation to focus on that side of the game as well. Because in the same era, you have Giggs, who was playing until 42 or something in midfield for United, and had an absolutely crazy long career, who was putting in a lot of miles as well in the legs, but just kind of bought into the more physical, the yoga side they always mention. But, you know, looking after the body, understanding that it's a very, very long road. So yeah, maybe he would have been forced more to do it because they knew more, while it was probably more onus on the individual players back then and buying into it or not. So I almost think it makes it even, like, there's even more charm to it as well, that he just completely fell off a cliff at like 31. Like, he just was like, do you know what? Like, I was unbelievable, and yeah, I'm going to the States now. I'm going to play for Derby and, you know, Everton for a bit, and then just call it a day.
But also, you know, still scoring a halfway line goal in the MLS. It's just, you know, why
exactly.
not?
You don't lose it. You don't lose it.
No,
it's incredible. Just the football and ability of him was ridiculous.
I mean, so let's talk about this then. Combined 11s then. First up against Bayern Munich and second up against Chelsea. Does your team win? It's a silly question, I'm sure, but does your team win? And what would your scoreline be? Would it go to penalties, I wonder?
Would my team win? I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, the midfield might get slightly overpowered, but then did the midfield get slightly overpowered with Scholes and Carrick in that Champions League final? I'm trying to think back. It was probably more of like a Premier League game where it was a bit no one really had control of the game. It was going kind of back and forth a bit. I'm looking at Essie and McAlealy and Lampard, and I'm looking at that and Ballack, and that's a massive midfield.
Yeah.
So I think Beckham and Scholes will have their work cut out for them, but yeah, there's just no way they're dealing with the attacking threat that we have, and also we're very, very solid at the back. Absolutely no nonsense, as we mentioned, with the same back four. So I'm going to say that we win 2-1 in normal time rather than 1-1. We get another goal in normal time, and we save all the drama and we win it comfortably 2-1 in Moscow. But there'll be no fun in that.
Yeah, no, there wouldn't be. No,
Schmeichel would probably make the team if there was no penalties.
True, very true. I mean, I think that the magic of those Champions League games, I mean, especially for us in 08, is, Drogba getting sent off deep into the second half of extra time, so he can't take a penalty. We know Drogba just turn up to big games like they were nothing. He just absolutely dominated the game, was an absolute menace in the air, such a physical specimen to get off the ball, let alone put in a challenge. So I feel like him not taking a penalty was a huge reason as to why Chelsea didn't win that penalty shootout. And I think he is a huge figure in that Chelsea side. So good. He came back twice and still was absolutely insane both times at both stages of his career. I think, as a leader point, they missed that. And I feel like if that happened again, I don't know. I mean, it's Ronaldo who scores the header in 08. Obviously, it's Ronaldo scoring a header. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. But obviously, it's, he's a physical, like a menace in the air. You're not jumping higher than Ronaldo. End of story. So you've got that target forward if you really wanted to. But I just feel you unleash Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez against that 99 Bayern Munich team, they would struggle. I mean, it would be wonderful to watch. And what I was going to say as well is part of the magic maybe of those two finals was the way that those games were won. I mean, I can't speak a lot for 1999, but you look at the scoreline, you look at the score sheet, I should say, and for it to be sort of 90th plus 1 and 90th plus 3, is it? Just come on. To win a final in the dying embers of the game when you're 1-0 down with extra stoppage time looming, come on.
It's a movie, and then for that to be to cap off the treble as well, it's just mental stuff, mental. No wonder it's talked about so much. No wonder we talk about it so much. What else are we meant to talk about?
Cunha? Yeah. Burmo, maybe. I don't know.
One of the people who own one of them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can instill that. I hope. Well, you see. Let's see what happens. So, Niall, just to give us a reminder then, take us through your combined 11.
Okay, so in goal, Edwin van der Sar, back four of Gary Neville, Jaap Stam, Nemanja Vidic, and Patrice Evra. I've gone for two midfield of Scholes, 08, and Beckham. And then we've gone for Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez in behind Andy Cole.
Yeah, it's a nice side. It's a good side. I've gone for Schmeichel between the sticks, and then I've gone for a back four of Evra, Vidic, Stam, and Neville. So I've just copied Niall. But then it changes up. The midfield, in the holding midfield, I've got Michael Carrick and Paul Scholes. Then you've got a three there of Ronaldo and Beckham on the wings, Rooney in the middle, and then Tevez up top. Let us know then, in all of the socials, how much did we get it right? Who would you have put in the combined 11, and how much of an idiot we were for not choosing your player? Let us know how wrong we got it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to start a debate with you as to why we're right. It passes the time, of course, until the new season, which is not too far away. Niall, thank you so much for joining us on this episode and another reminiscing Wildcard Wednesday.
Like you mentioned at the start of the show, Kieran, we wouldn't have it any other way, and it's the only thing getting us through the day at the minute. So
it is.
Let's just hope that we can turn a corner.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not
the longest corner I've ever seen, but
hairpin corner.
Yeah, one of them ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully so. Hey, anyway, but thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Daily Manchester United, which is brought to you by Zencastr, because here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform, and Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that can automatically remove all of those ums and ahs if you want them to, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, make sure you check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr. A big thank you to Zencastr for sponsoring on this episode, and for you for checking out Zencastr for all your podcast hosting needs. You can follow us on all the social medias. We are at GSPN Man United on the likes of Facebook, on Twitter and X, on Instagram and on TikTok. And you can also watch our episodes. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple and you'll want to watch the episodes instead, you can follow us on our YouTube page. It's GSPN Daily Manchester United Podcast. Follow us on YouTube and you can watch all of the shows instead of just listening to them, so you can see our lovely faces. Now give them a smile. There you go. You see, you're missing out. You're missing out if you're listening to us only. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for listening and watching today's episode. We'll be back soon for more. We might even have the Arsenal guys on. Oh, Lord help us. See you soon.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.